Hello and welcome to the Nightmare on X Street podcast. I am your host, Andromeda Jones. Here we have women that come on and discuss things that have happened in past relationships or situationships that are just absolutely outlandish, things that most often women, especially women of color, do not discuss out of shame and out of blaming ourselves for those things that happen to us. But we all know we cannot be accountable for other people's decisions. So I decided to create a platform where women could come and discuss things that have happened to them with the men in their lives, because there's so many podcasts where men are able to say everything that women did to them, but women are kind of shunned when it's our turn. So I wanted to create a safe space. Along the way, you'll see some tickers along the bottom regarding trigger warnings, if you need help calling 911, if you need therapy, and other things that may come up within the podcast. I have some amazing guests that come on. The stories have been just beyond anything I can imagine. So I will bring up my first guest and allow her to introduce herself. And here she is. Hello.
Hi, my name
All
is
right.
Angelica.
Okay, Angelica. So you found the word about my podcast. Did you find it on Instagram, Threads, or Facebook?
About your podcast on Threads specifically. I thought like you were looking for people that had like stories that were like not out of the, out there. So I was like, I've been through some stuff and like top three, this is probably like the number one that always like sticks to me. So hopefully I can share it and people can sort of like, hey, I went through this too. It wasn't just you. So I'm just like, it's something that I like. It's probably like, is there such thing as relationship shame? Like I tell like a few people in my family, but it's just they don't know like every single detail of it, and I'm still haven't told like my therapist like zero. Like she knows that I have like a thing about like relationships, but she doesn't know like why yet.
Okay. So the only thing I ask on the podcast is you not say the name of the person that you were
Okay,
involved with.
cool.
I ask that you not say their name. I ask that you not give the age you were when it happened. And I ask that you not give
Okay,
the location of where it happened, the city or state. And I do those things because we all know social media.
cool.
People will say, oh, she was 23. Well, when she was 23, I worked with her at McDonald's. And when she worked at
Yeah,
McDonald's, Jim Bob was coming up there to see her. It's Jim Bob. So I just try
yeah,
not to identify the
exactly.
person. It keeps you from being harassed by either that person or just people in general. And it just
Yeah.
allows you to maintain your peace with the situation that you've made thus far. So
Oh yeah.
without further ado, give us a little detail kind of into a little brief overview of what happened and then start us into the story of with starting with how you met this person.
How I met him. I was like, um, outside of probably like one of my areas, like my city that I like to hang out with. 'Cause you know how you have some areas like where you just kick it, that's home, like where you go eat at, and also then there's other areas where there's like shopping, eating. You have friends that stay in that area. So I was like way out of the city that I'm usually in, and like I was hanging out with a friend that had other issues with like women, like a platonic male friend, and like long story short, like I was about to go home and hop on the train to get back to my city, and my ex at that time, before we became got together, he was stepping off the train, and I was about to get on, and I was just, you're looking at your phone, looking goofy, and just laughing at something you probably saw. So he like complimented me, and that's how that started. So
Okay.
my friend that I was supposed to that I was hanging out with, they usually are with me to cock block any guys that say anything. Cause I just like am a person that's really aloof. So I'm just like, I go anywhere, like nothing could happen to me. Like nobody's gonna, I'm just like walk around like nobody sees me, basically. And it's just like a weird disposition to have, but this is how I am. So usually my friend is around, but he had left. So sometimes I usually blame him. Like, if you weren't there, if we were there, I wouldn't have met this dude, you know? But I know it's all like me. if I would have to initiate the conversation as well, you know. So that's kind of like how I met that guy, like just like a meet cute train passing type thing.
So how did the exchange of information start and then continue on to you ending up dating?
He like asked me like we exchanged numbers, and then like I think I don't remember the time frame when, as far as like he hit me up after that, but we were like started talking like immediately, so stuff started moving like fast, and I told him like from the jump, like I was like I don't really like jump into relationships with nobody, like I always believe in like friends first, like just just friends. Like that's my safe zone, just like friends first. So then maybe like after like a month or two of us just like hanging out as platonic friends and like, you know, eating lunch together, and then there was just like I smoke weed, so there used to be like a little bougie weed shop that had like a little lounge where people could like smoke and stuff in peace and listen to music and do arts and crafts or whatever. It was just like little fun place. So like we went there like most of the time. If he was in the neighborhood, and then he like asked me, maybe like over lunch one day. He's like, "Oh, I'm tired of being friends with you. You should just start dating and stuff like that." So I was like, "Okay," because I really wasn't like entertaining anybody at the time anyway. So I was just like, "Okay, I guess I'll try this once again," because I was just like totally against been in like a relationship for a while due to like some other past issues.
So your first date, where did you go and what did you do for your first date and how was it?
Actually our first like date as a couple, like he had cooked for me. So it's kinda like he knew how to like cook stuff from like scratch, so that kinda like attracted me a little bit because I just like I don't mind cooking, but if like a guy like knows how to cook, I'll be like, okay, cool. So it's just impressed me with something, you know. So then he knew like how to cook like something like from scratch. So I was like, okay, he could like do stuff when I don't feel like doing shit, you know. Sorry, stuff like cooking stuff when I don't feel like doing it. So that's kind of like that was kind of like his thing. He liked to cook a lot.
Okay. So first date is cooking. You're dating now. When is the first red flag or first sign that something could be wrong? Like, what was the first thing that happened that made you realize, that made you pay attention to him and his behaviors going forward?
For me, it was like, oh, okay, like maybe like maybe like the first time we were like intimate with each other, that made me think it was something like weird, because if I think of like actions, like it doesn't like line up. So for me, like he like um I just noticed like it was just like a weird noise like coming from him, his body. So it was like a beeping, like buzzing noise. And I'm thinking like maybe he has like what you would call it, like an old ass flip phone or something that's attached to him
Okay.
or something like that.
So you said it was like did you feel
I'm
any, was
thinking
he
that's
naked?
what it is at first.
So is he naked and you just can't see what's on his body, or is he wearing
I
clothes?
can't see nothing. I can't see
Okay.
nothing. It's like completely dark. So I'm hearing this buzzing like after everything is like over, like boom, like a beeper noise. So then like you know like we say our goodbyes or blah blah this. So then like the next maybe like a few I can't even say the time frame, but like he told me what that was like after the fact. And so like he told me that he's on parole, I still like get fuzzy like what the difference is like into parole, right? And that's why he
Yeah.
has an ankle monitor. So he fed me this line about like he got into like something with some other people and everybody got charged the same thing and he's wearing has to wear his ankle monitor, can't be near schools and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know none of this. Because, like, real talk, like, I'm not like super naive or nothing like that. It's just like certain people I've dealt with, like, it's like different levels of like, I want to say different levels of criminal activity. Like, as far as I went with people that have not done like crazy stuff, you know? So with this, I'm just like, never in my life would I
Yeah.
even think of any of the stuff that he um what it says on his record, you know? So I'm thinking like I'm just believing what he's telling me on this home invasion and got like all the time.
Wait, pause for me just a moment. You're
So after
freezing.
he's telling me that's when the red flags sorry, that's when the red flags came. The reason why he's
For
telling me
just
that
a
the
moment, you're
things
freezing.
that's making noise. Oh,
Hold
sorry.
on, you froze up on me. Let me put where I am. We're at 12 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so go back to you're not naive, you're just believing what he told you about what happened. I think you were
Yeah,
about to say what he did.
yeah.
What he
Like
told
I'm not naive. You know, I'm not people like I did for to this caliber where I didn't know I should like do some check in on however whoever you got to check. You know, every type of system I need to check. You know, I didn't know to
you.
do that. I'm just leaving him at face value with this thing making with his reasoning and telling me that this thing is making noise on his body. You know, so he's telling me one thing when his record says something else.
So what does his record
So
say it
that's kind of
is?
like the red flag right there. Well, he's on Megan's list, and that's the list where a sex offenders list. Do I have to disclose like what it
No, you don't
said
have to.
versus
No.
what he told me?
Only tell me what you're comfortable saying. So anything that you're uncomfortable with, I am perfectly fine with you omitting. So if you're not
I mean, you
comfortable,
could.
please don't
Well,
go
we're
forward
not
with.
saying names, so
No, no, we're not
trigger
saying that.
warning for
Please don't say a
anybody.
name.
Huh?
Yeah, just don't say a name.
There's no name. So
No,
basically,
no
this is what he told me. He told me no names. He told me basically that everybody got the same charge for a home invasion when the reality of it was being sodomized of a minor plus the home invasion. And it's
Okay, so there
not,
was a home invasion. He just left out the sodomy.
yeah, it was other people involved, but like he's the main culprit that they like saying and the parole officer said like, yeah, he like really did that shit.
Okay, so we're gonna back
Sorry,
up.
stuff.
So he's told you there was a home invasion. You took his word for it because that
And
could
everybody
warrant.
got the same charge.
Yep, that could warrant an ankle monitor, a home invasion. They don't want you to leave the area if you haven't been to court, or if you have been to court, to keep you from further committing crimes, so they know where you are. So that is very believable. I can
Okay.
completely understand that. So you continue
Okay.
dating. You've gotten what you think is your answer regarding this ankle monitor. So is there something else that
Mm-hmm.
happens after that that makes you say, I know you said it was a home invasion, but something else must be going on? What made you think to look to see what the
Okay.
real reason was?
Well, the crazy thing, was to have like family that's like nosy like I am because like he wanted to meet my family like within a few months of us dating, and I'm one of those people that's kind of like, if I don't know you that well, you're not gonna meet my family right away. Like I gotta know you for a while. Like even with like platonic, like regular homegirls and stuff like that, because I've been like burned before with females just want to be my friends, just kick it with a male and my family, and then we're not friends no more because something happened with them. So I just be chill. So like him, I was just like, hey, he's not gonna leave my family like right away. Like we just barely getting on talking terms like here and there, to be honest. So like within a few months, he's like proposing to me and friending him and all of that stuff like that. And I'm just like, this is like too soon, too much too soon, because I don't even know you like that. And what happened was, I think he is like telling, because I guess like with his record, he had to have like a curfew and stuff like that. Because since he didn't tell me like everything that like the rules and regulations for that parole stipulations as far as like sex offenders go, like they have to follow like a whole like list of rules. So I don't know about all the none of this stuff like that. Most of the dudes that I dated that had criminal records, they were gangbangers and hustlers. Like they didn't do stuff like that. They spend a little time, sell a little shit here and there, come out, do it again and go back. Stuff like that. You get tired of stuff like that, you know? So like I thought he was probably like, I wanna say different, but I'm just like it was just like weird. So one day, this was probably after we're like engaged and stuff. And like one day, one of my cousins, she was like, "Hey, um, he sent me like a screenshot or something, pictures and stuff like that, like everything he did." And we're like at school at the time, so like I'm like right, he's sitting right across me while I'm looking at his record and stuff like that, and I'm just like, wow. So I got like a lot of people coming at me saying, "Did you know about this? You have to run our family to this and blah, blah, blah." I was like, I didn't know anything about this. So from that point on, it was just like a different change in the way he was acting. So it was just the same
Hang on, you're breaking up again. Hang on one second. Hold on. Let me see if it'll catch you back up. Okay. Now you said from then on there was a change. So start from saying that part.
yeah, yes. From that point after he was found out, and stuff like he's like, "Oh, your family's messy and blah blah blah." This and I was like, "No, they're not messy." But he's like, "I everybody got the same charge and I didn't do that and blah 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 and this," and I was just like, I don't know. It was just like certain stuff that he told me versus like me overhearing like conversation between him and like his brothers that was kind of like, it sound like you did that. And I don't want no parts of you touching me or nothing like that, especially when you a cheater too, and I didn't took you back. And I'm one of the people that don't take cheaters back. Like I'm one and done. Like I'm not that ride or die. I will ride and leave. Okay. Once I find out you one time, this is just not cool, and it always messed with me mentally. That like took him back when I found out he was cheating for 4 months and so being like engaged and stuff. So I'm just like, really, dude? Like, ugh, why are you bothering me with this? I don't like this, you know. So,
Yeah.
my family, some people in my family sent a group text his record, so I guess he did like a whole like, one
Wait, hang on one
like
second. You're doing it again. Hang on one second.
okay, okay,
Okay. So it sounded like you said something about a group text or group chat, maybe.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
start
they sent
from
like a group chat with his record. Okay, so there was like a group text sent, like with his record and the pictures of like what was found in there. And like one of my cousins was like, "Oh, did you know that he did all this?" I was like, "No, he told me a whole different thing, you know." So after that, I didn't have no plans to like stay with him beyond that. It was just kind of like he was kind of like grasping, call it grasping threads at this point because it was out. So he started like and so by doing like and things like that tried to be so bad, like he would say, for instance, oh, was
Wait,
trying to
hang
get
on.
with
You do
me, blah
it
blah
again.
blah. To this, he,
Hang on. Oh, so it did it again. So start from you said you at that point you
okay.
didn't have any plans on staying with him.
Yeah, I didn't really have any plans on staying with him after like I found out like basically basically after he cheated on me. Like the first time, I didn't really have that plans to stay with him, and then luckily for me, after that cheating happened within the first few months, that's when he got found out with the group texting his record. So he started doing this thing where, oh, this girl was trying to get with me, and you lucky, I'm with you, blah blah blah. And so I was like, well, they wouldn't get nothing but no, you know, H O ass dude because you're and you're a liar. So I mean, if you were to leave today, good riddance. And he was like, F you, and call me names and all that stupid stuff like that. And he would just like go off and then back to my door because stuff was at my house. So he was like, oh, just on the streets because he, he was he didn't want to improve his life after getting out of prison.
Mhm.
So he wanted to sleep on the streets. He didn't want to stay in no halfway house, no nothing. He wanted to sleep on the streets and
So he
cheated
was
with like
homeless while you
homeless
were
stuff.
dating him.
Yes, yes. After when I first met him, he was not staying there. I guess like the place that he was staying at, they changed management and they switched him to a different place and the room.
Oh, 23 minutes. I lost it. All right, let's do a break and we're going to do a banner. All right, let me bring you back. All
Airports.
right,
So
there we go.
like when planes and stuff pass by, it just go crazy. So where do we leave off at?
Okay, he was homeless. The place where
Yes,
he
he
was staying.
wasn't. Yes, he was staying like in like a transitional home to, and that place supposed to help them find like new places and stuff. But he didn't want to stay in there, you know. So like he thought he was gonna like somehow stay with me, but I stayed near a school, like right at the corner, and me. I didn't know a lot of knowledge of like um parolees that were sex offenders and stuff like that. So I didn't know about you can't be near a school, you can't do this and that and the other. I just barely learning all this stuff dealing with him. So there was like no way I was gonna live. I mean, give up where I want to live at. I like kind of like worked hard like to live in a little my little place that I stayed at in the area that I want to be at. So
Absolutely.
I like where I stay at. Go ahead.
So he's still putting it off on everybody got the same charges. So at
Yes.
point in the relationship do you say, I'm done? And then how does he respond to you saying, I'm done?
The crazy thing is, I've said I'm done like several times. Like, cause I just after the first time we cheated, I was just like, man, I ain't gonna be doing this repetitive. So like when I was like done, it was just like it was like one of those days where it was kind of like I knew that was kind of like the last day was done. Like it was like I like sort of forgave him about the first part of cheating. I was like, man, I was like, I tell you, like, I was like, I already did what I wanted to do before I even want to think about getting married. So hopefully you got every piece of crap out of your system because stuff that I found on your phone that was questionable and stuff like that. Like, I don't play those games. Like, I care about my health, like intimate health, very much so to the point where I take super long breaks between relationships because I don't be trusting people like that. So like, um, I just like we was just sitting eating lunch at school. So next thing I know, like some like weird looking girl like came up, like basically just trying to talk to him like she was me, like hey, you need to blah 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 this and this and I was like, hold up, who is you? Like any female, yeah, like bitch, who is you? Like I'm that's my whole attitude, like, who are you to talk to him like that? So he's not saying nothing. So she goes on, she's like, you better tell her. And I'm just like looking up, like, yeah, you better tell me for real. So I like,
Yes.
dude, you know, I like look calm, but I like don't play them games. So like, so next thing I know, like, dude, if you playing around again, I already told you, like, I'm not even into trying to be with nobody that has papers on me, okay? Eventually, okay? Like, I like being the type of person that I am, whether I just be single with a special friend, like our grandparents used to have, like that, or something like
That's where
that,
I
or
am in
like
life.
whether I do, huh?
I said, that's where I am in life.
So
I'm fine being single with a special friend.
yeah, like that, like Whoopi said, like she got a little special friend, stuff like that. Like I had no kids, I'm gonna be like a fish lady. I don't like cats, I'm gonna be a fish lady because I got allergies and stuff. So like, so I'm like, dude, I was like, I already told you I ain't gonna be marrying nobody for nothing. Like you really got lucky because I'm ready to switch, not sexes, but I'm ready to dip into one of them international ponds, see what they doing over there in a minute, see what they
Relate.
doing. So that if I get a passport, it's gonna be over. I might want to stay. I might not want to come back to these over here. But anyway, so like you're like, nah, you always talking this and blah 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 this. So here come the girl. She come back with a golf club, like one of the ones with the thick bottom, like
Yeah.
I don't know what that one is called, but the big
And a
one.
big mallet,
So
like a
then she
big
was
mallet
like,
on the back of it. I know
yeah.
the
So she
runner
came with a golf
can't
club.